Fellas, here I am out in the garage this morning, and I just got out here, so my thermometer's saying it's about 52 degrees out here. So I got my heater running, but it should warm up not too bad because it's gonna be a nice day today. I want to start off by saying that last Friday the weather got really nice. It was like 55 degrees around noon, full sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. So my wife and we got old Ruby out and packed a lunch and drove across the river over to Henderson, Kentucky, and we went to our favorite park over there, Audubon Mill Park, which is right on the river, and they've got a really nice park over there, and looks like they just redid all their picnic tables, new tops and everything on them, so it's really nice over there. So we had a really good day. Guys, here it is, the 5th of February, and I still haven't, up to this date, hadn't completed a model yet, but daggone, I finally got one done, and I'm gonna turn around here and show you. But man, I'm gonna tell you what, I had just, let me show you here. This is the one well, I used the parts off this because y'all remember I started out with something different, but I'll explain all this here in a minute. I'll turn y'all around, but this thing here has been a nightmare for the past couple months. And I'm just glad this one's off the bench. But let me turn you around here and we'll take a look at what I got going on. All right, fellas, here we are over at the bench. Gosh, where do I start on this sucker? Let me start back in December of last year when I got the idea to, I had this kit, and then I ended up buying a 51 Henry J sedan delivery body, a resin body from Jimmy Flintstone. Now there's nothing against the Jimmy Flintstone bodies. I just had never worked with resin bodies before. I've dealt with a lot of resin parts, but never in any of the bodies. And boy, I done found out quick the bodies are just not to my liking. So anyway, I had a hard time. I couldn't get the kit hood to fit that resin body to save my life. So I had planned on just leaving it off. But man, I got to going on this thing, and this sucker just fought me, and finally got the body where I thought I was good with it, and I got it painted, and I stuck it in my dehydrator just to be out of harm's way. And I was getting ready to go in the house, and I glanced over and saw it, and I thought, well, I better turn that dehydrator on while I'm in the house, and wasn't even thinking about it being a resin body since this was my first one. And turned it on, low heat. I think it was like 104 degrees. Went in the house. I was in the house less than 10 minutes, and then it hit me, and I ran back out, and it was already too late. That body was warped so bad. But I got my heat gun out, guys, and I kind of got her stretched back, kind of in place. I need to strip this body, but kind of got her stretched back in place. I mean, you guys remember, there's the everything I was working on, so I kind of got that stretched back in place. So there's a possibility that it's kind of twisted a little bit, but if I can get her straightened up, I still might be able to do this build somewhere down the line. So that's still kind of hopeful. But anyway, guys, so I directed my attention to the kit body, and I glued the whole front end together and glued it to the body to make it a one piece, because this was going to be a quick curbside type build of a funny little goofy zinger type build. And what I used was, excuse me, you guys know these M2 kits that I bought. They're a little bit oversized. So the wheels and tires and the engine, it was bigger than 1/25. So I thought, you know what, that might look kind of cool, shoving those big old wheels and tires and that engine inside of this thing. So that's what I did, and then and then I was getting close to the end, and man, I tell you what, I set that body down after I had it painted and cleared and polished out. I set that body down on a paper towel that had glue on it, and it got glue all over the door. I think it was the passenger side door. Man, boy. Anyway, guys, I'm going to show you what I got here. Now, guys, I had so much trouble with this. This is definitely not a quality build, and not my best work, but it's going to go on the shelf, and I'm going to turn the bad side to the wall and just look at the good side, I guess. But, guys, I always tell you I show the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is the bad and the ugly combined. And I mean, all right, let me pull this out of the way. We'll take a look here, fellas. All right, I'm gonna hold my camera here. There she be. That paint is, to me, is TS paint. That's their candy lime green. And then I cleared it with the X22. I think it came out pretty cool. I like the color. It's pretty sharp. I ran, look at the exhaust there. I ran that's brass tubing. I ran it out the hood there. I thought that looked pretty cool. And then I just ran, I made me a distributor for this engine because they don't have one. And then I just shoved those wires straight down through the hood. Thought that looked kind of silly and goofy looking. Kind of match these big old tires. You want to know how big these tires are? Check that out. That's a big old meats underneath there. And if you look here as it goes around, I painted the rotors in there kind of a flat copper color. I ended up getting that front bumper on there. I think it turned out pretty cool, but like I said, this let me get on my chair here. It's not my best work by a long shot. And the glue, here's the passenger side. You can see the glue on the door there right by the R and Henry. And it just bummed me out when that happened. Man, I hated that. Because the paint job actually turned out pretty cool. I didn't even wet sand this. I just painted it and then cleared it and polished it. And it came out pretty good, I thought. The little pins on the tail lights there, those are, I found those red lights and they had a hole in the center. So when you looked at it on the back of the car, you could see the green body color. So my wife got in her sewing kit and got me some of these little flat-headed pins out, and I cut them off and I glued those in there in the center of those red lights, and they worked out pretty good. Looks pretty cool. But guys, this is a curbside. Excuse me. There's nothing on the lower part of that engine, and there's really no, I'll turn it over in a minute and show you, there's no chassis to speak of. I'll tell you, those big old tires in the rear, they come all the way up inside. Probably up in this area. I mean, they're way up in there. But I just thought it looked pretty cool. Something goofy. You guys remember the old MPC when they came out with the old Zingers back in the, I'm thinking it was back in the 70s. Big old, goofy looking builds. I kind of had that in mind when I started putting this thing together, being oversized, the wheels and tires in that engine. Well, let me pick her up here and I'll show you the bottom side of this, guys. You can see nothing on the bottom of that engine. And I just put a plate in there so I could hold the seat in place. So like I said, it's pretty much just curbside. But I thought it looked pretty cool. I like these little chunky looking drag cars. It's just short and chunky looking. I dig it. All right, fellas, I think that's about it. I don't have too much more to say about this one. I did end up getting I got a dash in there from, I don't know where it come from. Out of the parts box, and a steering wheel, and I did get those in there, and that has a tack on the steering column. But other than that, I only put one seat in for the driver, and there's nothing in the back. Just I tried for this to be a quick little build, and man, I tell you what, it turned into a nightmare. But I'm thinking it turned out okay, I guess. It's going to go on the shelf and in a display case on the shelf. I just think it looks pretty cool. All right, fellas, like always, leave your comments, what you think about this one. Like I said, it's not a quality build. It's nothing near what I like to consider up to my standards, but I got her done. I got one done for 2024, the first one. So I'm kind of pleased with that. All right, fellas, I'm done.